So you should know that there's some hidden risks with a do-it-yourself divorce. The biggest one is what you do in the beginning of your case makes all the difference in how your case goes. So if you think, I'm going to handle the divorce myself in the beginning, I'm going to work out all the paperwork, I'm going to file stuff, chances are at some point you're going to make a mistake. You're going to do something that's going to have an impact on the rest of your case. So I would recommend you getting an attorney from the get-go because they're going to handle it right. It is not unusual that some people try to do a DUI divorce and at some point they realize they can't handle it on their own, but sometimes they only come to that realization when they've actually already made a mistake. They've lost custody or they didn't get the orders that they were looking for and they realized, I should have gone with an attorney. So that is your biggest problem with the DUI divorce. You generally don't want to go that route. I understand that people sometimes have to do that for financial reasons, but there are ways to work around that and at least get some legal representation for some aspect of your case. Don't leave it to chance to try to do it on your own. You're generally going to make a mistake. At some point, you're going to have an issue or a problem, and that is why generally, as much as you can, get legal representation. In a divorce, the small details matter. What that means is that you really need to determine what needs to be done and how to do it. And if you're coming up to agreements, for example, that are going to become court orders, the devil's in the details. You need to work out what exactly you're going to have in your settlement agreement, whether that's on a temporary order or a permanent order. What is the details? You want to spell things out so that there's no ambiguity, so that you don't have to rush back to court to redo the orders or to get clarification as much as possible. When you leave things to chance and leave ambiguities, you don't spell out the details, generally they're going to come back to bite you, and you want to avoid that as much as possible in your divorce case. In divorce cases, attorneys really handle all the details as much as possible. They're dealing with, obviously, the main stuff that you're hiring an attorney for, which is getting the paperwork done, working out the settlement. But the key is they're providing the legal advice that is necessary for you to make the most informed decisions on whatever is going on your case, and then working out those details in specific terms so that you have a breakdown of everything clearly and concisely so that there is no ambiguity and no issue in your case that's going to come back to bite you. So sometimes people try to do a divorce case on their own. They're trying to save money. But you know what? I've had plenty of experiences where I've taken on a case where somebody tried to handle the case on their own. And in the end, they ended up having to spend more money to undo the mistakes that they inflicted on themselves by not having an attorney to begin with. Look, I understand that sometimes you think you can handle it on your own, or you think you have to do it for financial reasons, but sometimes you have to spend the money to get the job done right, to have legal representation, to make sure your rights are protected, that things are done properly, so that you don't have a problem going down the line that you regret later. If you have questions about do-it-yourself divorces, contact the Maggio Law Firm for more information.